The wood insect that gathers sticks should be ready to take or to carry them on its head. Yes, you gather the sticks and you should be ready to take them on your head. Yes, if you put your hands into something that is not actually acceptable, you should be able to, bear the consequences. My name is Angelo, and this is Nation Voice Tower. Chaos has been brought down in Abuja as protesters have stormed the streets to the National Assembly to demand the sack of the Minister of State for Defense, Muhammad Bello Matawale. This particular development came few hours after lots of people had registered their disappointment over the fact that the Minister of State for Defense has shown his incompetence and incapability in handling insecurity in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of the country where he comes from. Dozens of pro-democracy activists have stormed the National Assembly in protest to demand the removal of the Minister of State for Defense over growing insecurity across Nigeria. The protesters carried several banners with inscriptions demanding the sack of the Minister for State for Defense, Bello Muhammad Matawale, over alleged complicity in the crisis, especially in Zamfara State. The protesters, under the aegis of the civil society advocacy groups for accountability and probity, also accused the defense minister of links to bandits responsible for the loss of lives and property in northern Nigeria. They called on the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, to exert his influence on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure Matawale is relieved of his job. Spokesperson for the group of protesters, one Mr. Danesi Momo, claimed that the defense minister has a lot of explanations to make, especially with his recent indictment by a panel set up by the Zamfara state government. In a petition read during the protest, Momo said, "For a Senate that has since inauguration been preaching anti-corruption and socio-economic hygiene, allowing a man of questionable character like Bello Matawale pass your screening without you doing anything to remedy it when the facts are out is a direct mockery of your avowed legislative objectives. Your Excellency will recall that many well-meaning Nigerians were vehemently opposed to Matawale's appointment as Minister of the Federal Republic following his antecedents as the Governor of Zamfara State. A defense portfolio to an inefficient and corrupt leader who allegedly romanced bandits was perhaps one of the biggest mistakes of this administration. But it can be corrected with the Senate giving a voice in that direction. Note that Bello Matawale's criminal hoarding of all utility vehicles belonging to the Zamfara state government shortly after exiting power and the hulabaloo that greeted his unsportsmanlike behavior portray him as somebody who suffers kleptomania and also a direct enemy of progress and development. We are therefore afraid this might be replicated in the Ministry of Defense at the detriment of our patriotic military. Governor Dauda Lawal had to fight to recover those vehicles and save the impoverished people of Zamfara State from further depleting their meager resources in the purchase of new vehicles when they already had many, but which were already stolen by the former governor, Bello Matawale. This confirms my updates of lots of days ago when I made a particular update on Bello Matawale and his incompetence, his predicted incompetence. I told you his qualifications were not up to that of somebody who should be appointed at a very, very sensitive ministry, as sensitive as the Ministry of Defense. All right, Bello Matawale has done little or nothing to secure the people of Zamfara State when he was governor, and I don't expect much from him now that he is the Minister of State for Defense. I am so glad and thank God that all this are not just coming from me. Here are a group now that have come or have taken to the streets to protest against the appointment of Muhammad Bello Matawale, who has been called out several times, not only by this group, but by people in his region for his incompetence and incapability over time. We have recorded lots of fraudulent cases Until date, the present government of Zamfara State are still in the course of releasing lots of evidences indicting or implicating Bello Matawale while he was governor over misappropriation of public funds. I would like to go to the next update without wasting much of your time. The House of Representatives, surprisingly, have scrapped the 5 billion naira appropriated in the 2023 supplementary budget for the presidential yacht. Yes, following the public outcry against the item in the supplementary budget, they have thereby gone further to increase the budget for the students' loan to 10 billion naira instead of the formal 4.5 billion naira or 5 billion naira that was formally allocated for the students' loan. I think this is commendable by the House of Representatives if it was not a cameo in the first place. Please watch this video where the chairman of the committee broke the news to newsmen.
We have increased their budget from 456 to 546 billion 209,099,671. So then police formation and command we give them 50 billion, while the FCT they have about 100 billion naira. You know, FCT is very important because we want to make sure FCT can compete with any city in the world. That's why we have decided to give them 100 billion naira. While Office of the National Security, we know how important that office is. Initially, the initial budget was 27 billion, but currently we have increased their budget to 50 billion naira. While the State House, the initial budget was 28, and we still maintain that figure as 28 billion naira as well. Ministry of Agri, we know how important that ministry is. You're talking about the food security, and of course, it's very critical and important to our people across the nation. We have maintained the initial figure of 200 billion naira as well. While Ministry of Housing, you know, we have a serious housing deficit in this country, and the Mr. President agenda, he wants to build as much as he can. So we have approved 100 billion naira for Ministry of Housing, and that's what he actually did. Service whiteboard initially was 615 billion, but currently we reduced it from 615 to 515 billion naira as well. And for INEC, you know, initially their request was 18 billion naira. Yesterday we had an engagement with the INEC chairman, as you all aware, and he has convinced us about his submissions. We have maintained our the 18 billion naira as well. So far we have approved the sum of 2,176,791,286,033 naira only. So this is what we did today, and we'll continue to do as much as we can to support our Nigeria, to support the government, so that our people can see the importance for this democracy as well. As far as we are concerned, we don't have that percentage anymore. We have increased the student loan. If you can recall, student loan was 5 billion naira in the budget, but now we have increased it from 5 to 10 billion so that our students can be able to access that facility in order for them to go to school and to be affordable for them. This is what we do actually.
So no more what?
Yeah, actually, yeah, we don't have that yet anymore.
Okay, so what are we expecting at the end of this in terms of implementation?
Yes, as you know, we in the Church Assembly, we are very determined to make sure all the money appropriated, make sure that our members, especially those standing committees, will oversight those projects to make sure all the money that has been paid has been utilized judiciously, so that Nigerians can see it and can see the impact. From now to 3 months, we are going to call them and ask them what they have done with that money we have been provided to them. Approved that 35,000 increment. So far we have approved about 210 billion naira for Nigerian workers, and I'm sure they are going to see that impact as soon as possible. So it has been approved by the House of Representatives today.
Thank you.
It has been done.
All right. You've heard it from the horse's mouth there, and it's now evident that there is no more 5 billion naira budget for the presidential yacht. If that yacht was so important, the House of Representatives will have not scrapped it out. Yes, if it was very important to the Navy, as they claimed it was supposed to be, the House of Representatives would have not scrapped that out. But evidently, we have seen that that yacht was meant for luxury. I wonder who actually appended the presidential yacht in the budget of this year. But that should not repeat itself, because we are actually here to help the people of Nigeria and to grow the democracy and the government. All right, we're not here for luxuries and comfort. Okay, if you want to have luxuries and comfort, you go to your house. I think that is the best place to have luxury and comfort. All right, so without wasting much of your time, I would love to go to the final update. This one is so strong. Yes, a group known as the Northern Consensus Movement have called on the federal government to quickly caution one Mr. Sunday Igboho, the famous Southwest controversial activist who gained freedom recently from prison over issuance of threats by Sunday Igboho to Fulani communities residing in the Yoruba land to vacate the region within 10 days. The group, through its president, opined that if Sunday Igboho isn't called to order with immediate effect, they might have no option than to be forced to ask Yorubas to in turn leave the northern region in Nigeria. This is a tit for tat. I think I would allow you to watch this video, the brief press conference where this group known as the Northern Consensus Movement called on the federal government.
Every Nigerian has a right to live in any part of the country. Just of recent, Sunday Igboho was released from prison, but he issued a fresh ultimatum for Fulani community that are residing in Yoruba land to leave the region within 10 days. This time around, we, the Northern Consensus Movement of Nigeria, will do everything possible to stop that move. And if he refuses to listen if he resists to listen, then we have no option rather than to ask Yorubas that are resident in the northern Nigeria to also go back to their region. On the issue of compensation for our victims as a result of NSAS killing, Shasha Akinyele market killings, IPOP and ESN killings, we have been pursuing it for some years now. Since previous administration, a lot of promises were made, but still the federal government refused to fulfill the promise. So we are requesting Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on this issue of compensation to do something on it, as we are given 4 weeks ultimatum. If nothing is being done, then we are actually going a peaceful protest, peaceful demonstration, after which we will shut down the country on all food supplies moving from north to all southern part of the country. This thing we have sent to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu even before he was inaugurated as president. And as President Commander-in-Chief, we have also forwarded this demand and request. All security agencies, the head of security agencies of this country are aware of it. All governors of 19 northern states, all former leaders, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, most especially those that come from the north, are aware of it. The Northern Traditional Council are aware of it. The 19 northern state assemblies are also aware of this issue. It's not a new matter. We have been pursuing this issue since during the NSAS, the Shasha Akinyele market killings, and that of the ESN and Nnamdi Kanu's killings. The National Assembly, I repeat, is fully aware of it under Senator Ahmed Lawan. That was mentioned specifically, and a bill was passed in that respect. So we are saying and demanding that the President and Commander-in-Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu first pay this compensation, and also we are asking the Afenifere, the Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization, to call Sunday Igboho to order on this continuous harassment and intimidation of our people that he is doing. I repeat, what we are shying away from this thing not because of fear. We are not cowards. We are doing so because we respect constituted authority and we respect our elders. We are cultured and we respect the culture. So call him to order so that he does not carry out his threat. If he's allowed to do that, I repeat, we will have no option than to do the same. And we are saying that we have the capacity to do the same thing.
Welcome back. If you ask me, I will say there is a tribal crisis looming. Yes, we are not praying for that, but there is a tribal crisis looming. Why? Because what Sunday Igboho is trying to do is something that is unheard of. Something that has happened long ago, and we know how it ended. We know what erupted into the whole case that brought about the Civil War sometimes back in 1966 or thereabouts, all right? So we have seen lots of cases from political issues. It has sprung up to tribal issues, and then it gave birth to the war that took place in those days, all right? And this is like one potentiality of such an occurrence. We are not praying for that. That is why this northern group have called on the federal government to quickly call this Mr. Sunday Igboho to order. This man has been controversial, and this is time for him to quickly sheath his sword and stay silent in his home if he has nothing to do, because calling on Fulanis to leave the Yoruba communities is uncalled for. If other communities in Nigeria should call on Yorubas to leave their own community, there will be chaos, all right? So, every Nigerian has the right to live anywhere he wants to live in Nigeria, all right? So, we should give and accord that right to the whole citizens of Nigeria, because we share the same right and we share the same franchise, all right? Thank you so much for staying with us on this episode of mine of this updates. I hope you enjoyed our updates together. Before I call it quits, I would love to urge you to like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you get to see me firsthand and first time when I drop a new update. See you next time. Bye.